Welcome to another video. Today we're gonna discuss a little bit about palettes that I really enjoyed for the 2022, that I'm happy that I purchased, and I had a, for the most part, good experience with them. Let's start with a palette that I had half and half opinion, meaning there are certain products that in this palette I think they are absolutely not worth your money, but at the same time I wish you divided this in two palettes. This is Light Report palette from the Nissan RX, and I do have a full in-depth review for this palette. What I didn't like about this palette was these two water activated colors, and then these two chrome flakes, and these two the Vanity and Angel shade, which leaves us with multi-chromes, which I loved every single one of them. They are super smooth, buttery. You just touch them and it's a colorful heaven on your fingers. You can easily create beautiful looks with it. This is just one easy swipe with a color. It's beautiful, it's amazing, and it grabs beautifully. Because it's hard to formulate different types of formulas in here, and I get she did wanted to give us different formulas to work with. This is, I would say, advanced palette, but these multichromes are easy to work with, so if you are a beginner, this is something that you would appreciate. But in general, overall, for the price that it is, this, like I said, one of the most expensive palettes that I have in here. I think it was $125. It's really expensive, again, because it goes down to formulation. So that's one thing that I really liked about this palette. But then again, other things that I really don't use. And I explained a little bit more in depth all the reasons why in my worst of the makeup palettes that I tried for the past year in my video. Now let's move on to another good palette that I tried. This one is not new, but I tried it 1 year ago. I think it was 1 year ago. This is illamasca Unveiled palette. I really like this one. Again, I have in-depth video with this one, created a full tutorial. I really loved it, especially if you're a makeup artist. I didn't use that much this row, which are all shimmers. Now here we have all mattes. This shade right here that I hit the pan a long time ago, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, cool, undertoned, leaning on a yellow shade for lighting up your looks. It's beautiful. So this is something I would recommend. Of course, it's illamasca and it is worth your money. It's quality. I would say that these shimmers, again, I haven't used them that much. They don't have that big opacity, but if you are going for a lighter makeup look, then this might be for you. It goes beautiful even for a daily basis, and as you can see, it's all neutral. So one good palette to consider if you are into neutral undertones and you like quality palette. Next one would be one that is much more colorful palette. A couple of things that I didn't like in it, but if you are into color, you will like this one. If you like color, if you like that really punch of a color when you're doing makeup look. For example, today I used 3 of shades in this palette, being Hail Room and Goddess and Royal for my today's makeup look. This one is also good for clients if you are more into these kind of green/brown undertones. But again, some of them are really strong and colorful for some other occasions, so it can be a little bit tricky. Again, I would say if you like color and eyeshadow being really strong, then go for this palette. The one thing I wasn't that much impressed was this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 glittery shades. There are actually glitters inside, and you have to be really careful when you're applying this so that you don't get glitter all the way, and some of them go into your eyes. Other than that, you can get a lot from this shade range. You can create, as you can tell, multiple looks with this palette. So if you like color, you may like this palette. Here I have beautiful mauve shades. This is from Sigma Mod palette. I really like this color story. Even for clients, for yourself every day, even for natural or nighttime look, this palette is beautiful. It has a beautiful shade range, quality, and it comes It comes with this dual brush, but at the end of the day, I haven't used this brush, like I said, for my eyeshadow in general. I use this mostly for my face because this blending brush, what is this? This is just too big. If I would use this, I would use just for the edges of this, for example, just to blend everything. But other than that, it's rarely that I use this brush. I did use it today to apply this pink color, but for blending, not at all. Also, I wish this lighter shade was just a little bit more less warm than it is, more pink than it is actually. I really like this outside packaging, a little bit harder to maintain just because of this material, but other than that, I really I'm enjoying this palette. The only thing I didn't like was the shipping took forever to Croatia. It was insane. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it took me, I can't even remember. I know it was a long time. Recent release that I was so excited about and I'm happy that I got it. With the shipping, it came, this palette cost a lot. This is new palette from Makeover Mario Ethereal Eyeshadow palette. I do have full in-depth video review. I do use this shade as my blush as well. That's what I realized. It looks beautiful. The shade right here I love. If you love neutral undertones, if you like glam look, if you're working with clients, this one is good. This one is good. I like this first shade. I was afraid it's going to be too deep for brightening look and it's going to be too yellow, but it's not. Actually, it's good. We're having good transition color story here. So I would say when you swatch them that these toppers are either unnecessary or too close within a shade range. They do have its purpose though. They reflect differently depending on which undertone you use. You may use them even with, I don't know, if you're using some other eyeshadows, for example. Overall, I'm enjoying this palette and I am really loving this for glam, neutral makeup look. So if you want to invest in quality palette that has beautiful browns, I know we've seen a lot, like gazillion times of browns shades, but I'm happy that he improved his formula. If you, where is it? I'm trying to find my Master Mattes original palette. If you have tried his Master Mattes original palette, this one is different. These mattes are much more softer and the formula is definitely been improved. That's why the price went up when it comes to this palette, and even the packaging is different. So he improved a lot within this palette. Overall, I'm so happy I bought that one. I haven't managed to get my hands on the latest midi-size palette from Natasha Denona, but it's one that I've got. This is my dream palette and this is absolutely something that I absolutely love. I think the color story that she put in here is really well think through. I'm a big fan of this powder to matte formula. It's much more, actually it's matte. When you put it, it's matte, but it's not that dry matte. That's why it's even easier to work with. This is really true black. When I think about black color, this is the one that comes to my mind. I really like this one, either for doing my eyeliner or just when I do want to deepen up my looks. It's beautiful. This multi-chrome here is also beautiful. Again, I do have a full in-depth video tutorial, but this one, the look that I created, I really loved. I mostly use this mauve purple shade for that. But again, you have a different range of the undertones in here. So I would say that you can get a lot with this variety of shades. The one thing that I miss in this palette, so I have to reach out to other palettes, is I don't have any lightness in it. I don't have light colors, so I wish that she put one lighter color. For example, I will have here in, I would say for example in Mario's palette, that we have lightness and darkness. That would be perfect. That would be my perfect palette then to work with. But again, that's one thing I miss about it. I like the packaging, I like the formula. These can look, especially when you swatch them, this type of formula can look a little bit even scary the way it swatches. You can see how uneven this is. But once you start to blend it and warming it up, it works out fine. So I was kind of skeptical how it's gonna work, but I ended up loving this one, and I would highly recommend this if you are into this type of color story. Like, you have a lot you can do from this, you know. For example, this rain palette is something totally different than this one. Even though you can create multiple looks, you can do multiple looks with this one, but just in a different, it's a different vibe, you know. So it all depends what you're going for. And this is, of course, good Natasha Denona quality. I know there has been a lot more palettes that came out last year. These are some of the palettes that I got my hands on. Please let me know in the comment section below what are some of your favorite palettes for the past year, and what was your experience, for example, if you had one of these. Before you leave, make sure to watch this video, and I will see you guys soon in my next one. Bye.